congratulations for the organization. And you will allow me, I have to congratulate Iman as well. So well done. Actually, yeah, and the whole team. I know that there's a lot of effort there in the background. So thanks to everyone. That's been super nice since I stepped here in Cairo. It's obviously an honor to be part of this in this very nice and diverse panel with distinguished professionals in sport that will share a lot with us about this very important topic. We're going to talk about trends in recruitment, talent acquisition, and human resources in sport. It's a very relevant topic for everyone that is looking to start a career in sport, but also who is already working in sport. Before I pass to our guests here that are going to participate in the panel, can I ask in a show of hands, who already work in sport here? There? Who wants to work in sport? Oh, there's a good number of people that want to, so you're in the right place. Very good. So to start, I'll actually ask each panelist to give a brief introduction about themselves. Maybe I can start here and then follow the line. May, please.
Okay.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you. So my name is Maya Abdelhadi. I'm the head of people of Right to Dream Egypt. I used to work in the banking, in the HR in the banking for over 12 years, and I recently joined the sports sector. I'm an ACC certified coach from the International Coaching Federation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Could everybody hear well? I couldn't hear you very well, so if you maybe put closer to your mouth, I think.
Okay.
Try again. Let's see. Try.
Now?
Yes.
Yes, it's so much
Can
better.
Can you please go again?
Okay. So I'm Maya Abdelhadi. I'm head of people at Right to Dream Egypt. I used to work in the banking, in the HR in the banking for over 12 years, and I recently joined the sports sector. And I'm an ACC certified coach from the International Coaching Federation, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, May. Alex?
Hi, my name is Alexandra Saad. I'm not sad, it's just my name and I'm not pronouncing it correctly in Arabic, so I'm very happy to be here. I'm the co-founder and managing partner of Culture Lead & Co. And I was thinking how to introduce the company and what's our relationship with sports. And in the previous panel, I heard something about, you know, the philosophical, changing the philosophy in football. So along with my partner, Iman Elassi, we are trying to change the philosophy in human resources across all sectors, including sports industry. And we see culture with many of its elements as being the future. So you will hear more through our discussion, and I'm happy to see here people that are not already working in sports. Maybe that will open, you know, new perspectives and new ideas for you.
Thank you. Blanca, please.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Blanca. I'm from Spain. So basically, I'm an engineer. I started my career as a consultant in Spain. And 2.5 years ago, I got the opportunity to move to Egypt to work for an Egyptian company called Rise Up. And 6 months ago, I actually joined La Liga here in Egypt as a new delegate here in the country.
Thank you. So for who doesn't know me, I'm João Frigerio. I'm Brazilian, Egypt lover, so great
and
country.
Romanians.
Sorry?
Romanians.
Romanians. And yeah, I'm a founder of I Work in Sport. This is a global hub for all things that have to do with recruitment, career growth, and education in sport. I'm also a FIFA Master alumnus, proud. I have some of our friends here, but I'll give you more of my background in a session tomorrow. All right, so let's kick it off. So the title of this panel is Industry Trends, what sports organizations are looking for. So I suggest we start there, right? So what are the recent trends, what recent trends have you observed? I'm asking all three of you, but I'm going to start with you, Blanca. what recent trends have you observed in the way sports organizations recruit, train, and retain talent?
Okay, so first of all, we all need to be aware that the industry we are working on is evolving very fast, is growing, and I think we should actually be able to evolve with it. So the recent trends we have actually been seeing is something called employer branding, which is basically to work on how people and how talent perceives your company. So if you build a strong brand, that's how you will attract the talent. So that's how you will get people to be willing to work in this company. So that's something that it's a huge trend. I think it's worth to work on. And something else as well that I have seen is specialization. So actually in our own company, we have built La Liga Business School, which is a tool that we offer people to retain and build talent so they are able to actually educate themselves in different specialities or into different skills, because that's actually what the industry needs nowadays.
Thank you, Blanca. Alex, you want to add anything?
I want to start with a show of hands. So please do raise your hand if you have used ChatGPT or any generative AI. I see 2 hands there, right? So probably this is the biggest trend, right? Technology is here, and it's taking the world by storm, and it's taking the HR world by storm in sports industry and across all the other industries. Now, just building on what Blanca said, I think HR, it's a very vast area. Sports industry, it's super huge. You have so many different sectors. So I'll just going to try to add to what you've already said and look a bit at the factors that impacted HR in the sports industry for the past 4 years. And I'm saying 4 years because HR has changed dramatically and the sports industry has evolved tremendously after COVID. So number 1 is definitely technology, AI, generative AI, ChatGPT, as we all know it, and its application. Number 2, there are changes in the behaviors of fans, sports fans, athletes. There are changes in the preferences of these people. Third, there is a much more focus and emphasis being placed on well-being in other sectors, which adds a lot of opportunities to the sports industry to make a difference. And then probably one of the last things would be, it's starting being cool having a career in sports. And now there are so many other opportunities beyond, above and beyond just being an athlete. You can choose different paths in the sports industry. So these are the factors that impacted, I think, what we currently see on the market. What we do see on the market, we see a lot of ChatGPT, let's say, applications that are making the life of recruiters much easier. Yeah, so it's easier now to have real-time transcript of an interview. And then you can just go to your notes and have the full discussion. For candidates, it helps you to build your CVs. And you can customize your CVs to be relevant for the job that you're applying in the sports industry. Another trend that I would like to pinpoint is fit selection. And fit
selection.
Fit, like in being fit, like fitting into something. So what happens now is candidates are looking for organizations in which they can fit, in which they can belong, in which they can believe. And the organizations on the other side, as Blanca said, are building their value propositions in order to attract this kind of people. So we see more and more people choosing to work for a specific organization in sports because they believe in what that organization is doing. They believe in the purpose. And probably when it comes to retaining people, what we've seen emerging recently is a much more focus and more questions that we receive as HR professionals when it comes to career progression. So employees and future employees, they want to have, the perspective of broadening their career, expanding their career. And this term has changed. It's not only vertical career, it's also horizontal. So providing new employees or providing existing employees in the sports industry with the opportunity to choose different career paths. So that would be it from my side.
That's excellent. I'm going to go back to some of the points that you raised. Do you want to add anything, May?
Yes, actually, I believe that now the sports industry, they start recognizing the demanding nature of the job itself. It's never an 8 to 5 job. So they started introducing wellness, work and life balance. They started having more flexibility or offering more flexibility for the employees. I think also that they started, most of the sports industry now, they start enhancing their compensation and benefits to stay competitive within the talent market, because it's becoming very challenging nowadays. So
Yeah, I read somewhere that people are going to start changing the term work-life balance to life-work balance, that we should put life first. But this is something for another discussion. I want to maybe touch on the points of technology, obviously, that you already touched on as a trend. So with this increasing integration of technology in society, right, and obviously in sports, as you pointed out. So what new roles are emerging there, you think? And what skills you think are becoming more crucial?
That's a tough question to answer.
I know,
but
that's why we invited you.
So I'll start with the last part. When it comes to skills, what skills are emerging? What do we need with the introduction of technology? And I think it's valid for sports industry, and it's valid for anyone else and every other industry and every person present in this room. So if there is one investment that we can start doing for our future careers, is to develop digital and technology literacy as a competency. I know we know how to use social media. We are quite good with that. We weren't at the beginning, but we are becoming better. I know we know how to use a bit ChatGPT. Probably we are only tapping into a fraction of what ChatGPT is currently doing. But if we want to remain relevant, and that I talk about myself as well, right? I need to get on top, and we need to get on top of digital and technology literacy as a competency. That's number one. Number two, in terms of skills, I would say we need to continue building experts and expertise. And I will give you an example. I was in a different conference, and then someone was, mentioning about the great benefits of using technology. And the example they gave was, they asked someone in their company to create a job description for a new role, and this person was the head of comms, and the job description was something very different. And they used ChatGPT, 2 minutes, the job description is done. Fantastic. How do you know that that job description is right, for example? You need to go to the expert. And what do you think will happen in 5 years from now when the experts have been built by asking ChatGPT? We will have no expert. So we won't know when technology will give us hallucinations. We won't be able to make the difference. So we still need to build our expertise. Human expertise will prevail. Technology needs people to manage it. The third thing, I hear a lot of worrying, and I'm worried as well, right? Is technology going to take over my job? Am I still going to be here in 2 years talking to you, or you wouldn't even need me? You would go to something else, I don't know, chat Alex and ask her, not me. I think there is a risk, realistically speaking, and I think there will be jobs that will become obsolete, many of them, over 70,000, according to one of the research that I've seen. But I also believe there is a great opportunity. There will be another 154,000 new jobs that will show up. So that's why starting today, building our digital and technology literacy as a competency and understanding more can help you choose a different career in the future.
Yeah.
In terms of roles, there will be plenty. So probably we will be talking about virtual events producers. We don't have them today. We will be talking about ethical advisors on how to use technology in sports. Because if you don't control the technology, it can lead to disasters. We might have also sports technology specialists or experts. They would be the one that will design, implement, different sports software to increase performance, strategize better, analyze games, you name it. You know better than me, right? So there will be loads of other jobs that will show up. There is no such as a complete list of new jobs, neither in the sports industry nor in other industry. So we are learning as we go ahead. But if you want to invest in your career, probably the best thing that we could do today is to become more familiar and friendlier with technology. It's a must. It's not a choice anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, there are many examples. We were talking backstage. If we take the VAR, for example, before you had the 3 referees plus 1, now you have another dozen in the back room. That's jobs that were created for people to, manage that. But some, obviously, organizations, sports organizations, are embracing very strongly technology. I want to actually ask Blanca to talk a little about that, because La Liga, for instance, recently launched a joint venture that is called La Liga Tech.
Yes.
And so how can you add to the conversation, please?
Yes, exactly. So we have this vertical called La Liga Tech, and what we are trying to do with it, and we have been doing this for the last few years, is basically try to collect data, analysis, and process this data, and make informed decisions accordingly. So that's why I think the jobs that are currently needed in the industry is basically people that are very skilled on big data, business intelligence, data analysis, because I think that's what's helping us to grow and make better decisions, like these technological, these new tools that we are using in the whole industry. So I think these profiles are now very, very needed. So I think people should be educating themselves and keep growing on this direction, especially.
I'll jump to the next question. Thank you, Blanca. Thank you very much. May, let me get now to you and switching a bit, and I'm going to talk to the people there that raised their hand and said that they want to work in sport. I want you maybe to then give an advice. What advice would you give to individuals that are looking to start, or advance for those that are already working sport and maybe will be looking for join a different company or a promotion? But what advice would you give to them?
Okay, so it's not an advice,
Okay.
but I think there are several steps that you can take to join the industry of sports. So the first one basically is you should understand or identify your strength points. What are you good at? The sports sector is huge. You can see the sports science, sport marketing, supporting, and a lot of supporting departments, the coaching. So you should start first by identifying your strength point, and then definitely try to have practical experience. Go apply for internships where you will be sure on what field are you interested at. Nowadays, the sports industry are also focused on having the license or the technical and professional background, but it's also important to develop your skills and competencies too. So once you get what you are good at, or the strength or the field that you want to join, try to get the technical and the soft skills, develop your soft skills. And at the end, be open for any opportunity that you have. Maybe you can take it as a step and then start enhancing or start moving to another place or something like that. But be open. Your career path, it doesn't have to always be like a vertical. Sometimes it can be horizontal, and you can move from any field. Like we said, we all came from different backgrounds. You were not in the sports sector. I recently joined the sports sector. I used to work in the banking field. So just be open to any opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I think you pointed out something very important, which is, this self-assessment. You're kind of understanding what you're good at or what you would like to do. because sport obviously involves a lot of passion.
Absolutely.
And sometimes people say, oh, if it's to work in that club or in that competition, doesn't matter what I will do, marketing or sales or operations or selling tickets or whatever. And sometimes they are all over the place, make things a bit more difficult. So if they have that self-assessment, definitely it helps. Don't know if you would like to add to that, Alex and Blanca, and maybe if there's some specific experience or qualifications that are particularly valuable as well, if you want to share that too.
Sure. So I think Mai did a great job in pinpointing what I call the basis. So let's make it very simple. You want to start a career in sports, you need to know why. Passion is fantastic, but discover your why, because you will need a lot of perseverance. And it's not just in sports, in any career. And if you're not clear why you want to do that, then you've been wasting your time and your money, and you won't get where you want to get. So be ready to put the effort and the perseverance. I think this is kind of foundational, basic. And then have patience. Patience is a rare quality these days. We all want to advance very fast. And when it comes to sports, if you're considering an athletic performance, you probably know better than me that it's about playing from the heart and mind rather than from the ego. So it requires patience. In terms of qualification, and I'm talking again at the foundation level, I think 2024, it's a fantastic year to want to start a career in sports. It's the greatest year. And the reason is there are so many certifications available out there, in person, hybrid, online. Some of them are not that valuable, but many of them can really help you build a foundation. And getting a certification when you start a career in sports or elsewhere shows that you are committed, that you want to put the effort, the time and the money to do that. So these are the basics. And then Mai mentioned something else, mentioned about soft skills. So in sports, like in any other industries, there are a number of things that, might help you move your career faster or smarter. So I call it the magic trio. And it consists of building your personal image. And there are 3 things you can invest time, money, and efforts. Number 1 is your personal brand. Who do you stand? What do you stand for? Irrespective of what kind of career you have in sports, you don't have to be an athlete to have a personal brand. Second is reputation management. Reputation can make you or break you. It precedes you in a room, and it lingers long after you finish talking in that room. People would remember you. And third is social media presence. As HR people, we do look at your social media. So we want to see how you position yourself. So these are 3 things. And the other soft skills, it's kind of like a triangle, if you want, and there is a bubble on each side of the triangle. It's the intelligence trio. So imagine this. To build a career or to advance your career in sports or elsewhere, you need emotional intelligence these days. Secondly, you need cultural intelligence. Look at us, 4 panelists, 3 different countries, and talking to you, and probably we have multiple other nationalities here. So emotional intelligence, cultural intelligence, and thirdly, social intelligence. The trio would give you what we call diversity and inclusion intelligence. That's what I like to call it. So this would be on the soft skill side of the story if you want to invest in something. And remember, probably the most important one on short term, digital and technological literacy. We all need to do that. That's from my side.
Thank you, thank you. Blanca, would you like to add anything to that?
I think you're good with this.
Yeah? Good. So I will. Good?
Yeah.
Great. So I'll pass to the next one, and I think I'll start with you on the topic of diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI. That is a topic that has gained a lot of importance lately. So can you share some insights on the importance of DEI in sports organization And maybe how is La Liga working to improve DEI within the company?
I actually don't only think it's important, I think it gives you an advantage. So for example, to have a team with different backgrounds, different kind of profiles, it gives more power to your team or to your company because that's how you evolve and you go with the industry. So actually in our case, we have similar values like equality, diversity, and so on. And we try to build our programs, our activities according to that and encourage our club to actually do the same. For example, we have an initiative that is called La Liga Genuine, which is a league where actually people with intellectual disability can also enjoy football and be part of our activities. So we want actually this to keep growing, to reach more people and to encourage our clubs and around the world to do the same. And of course, we have also different academy programs for young kids where we encourage, of course, and we have these programs for either young girls or young guys to actually join them. So that's how we try to build and to grow within our values, our teams and our companies and everything we actually do.
Thank you, Blanca. May I ask you to add to that?
Yeah, adding to what Blanca just said, diversity and inclusion are really important. And in Right to Dream, actually we have zero tolerance policy against any discrimination. Actually having this diversity and inclusion among the staff, you can see it. We were just speaking before the panel. If you came at any time to our facility during breakfast, lunch, dinner, you will see the diversity of people. You will see the expats, the players, our players, the young players, the coaches, the CEO, the driver, the kitchen staff. Everyone is having the 3 meals together, like all of us having the same fan base to our club, FC Toot. So the diversity and inclusion is really important. And everyone in the organization must feel respected, valued, listened to. So it's really important nowadays to focus on this.
Thank you. Alex, would you like to add something?
Just something very brief. I think the sports industry is probably one of the pioneers when it comes to diversity and inclusion. And I'm just going to give you probably one of the most well-known examples is the Paralympics, right? It was one of the first events that actually created an inclusive culture for people with disabilities. So I think this is one aspect of it. The sports as an industry has already done a lot of steps and is taking further steps. The other side of the story is that sports in itself, it's inclusive and diverse. So there is a lot of opportunity for diversity and inclusion within the industry. Do we do enough? I don't know. It's hard to tell. And I think at the macro level, there is a lot of awareness about diversity and inclusion in sports. I think it goes down to the execution at the micro level. Many of the CEOs, leaders in the sports industries, HR directors, they definitely have DEI in their vocabulary and they talk about it. Mm-hmm. Do they actually do enough? I would say there is always space to do more. Maybe different, if not more, but there is a lot of opportunity to add to the inclusiveness of other aspects than gender diversity, which is currently, highly underlined or, yeah. So I think that we could do more, and sports is the right industry to set an example and to continue what they've started as pioneers.
Cool. It's a great. Is that a question? Can you wait until the question and answer? Then we'll go back to you. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Let me stay with you, because I want to touch on another important thing within human resources, which is leadership development, right?
True.
So how much importance do you think it's being given to leadership development in, say, the sports industry? maybe you could share some examples that you have encountered.
So leadership development has been one of the top 3 trends in the HR world for the past 15 years. If you don't believe me, just go and Google or ask ChatGPT. So it's been there in general across industries. Is leadership development important in sports? Absolutely. Is leadership development important for people that made it to supervisory, managerial, or leadership levels? Yes, and I'm not saying absolutely, I'm saying yes. The most common leadership development initiatives that I came across are, let's say, experiential and theoretical at the same time. So we talk about leadership retreats, executive education, all sorts of workshops and interventions, which are great. But I personally believe that leadership is not being taught in a training room or in a retreat. I believe that you learn leadership on the floor while you're practicing leadership. And I also believe that you don't have to wait to be in a leadership position or to be in a management position to put someone through a leadership development program. I think as a person, each and every one of us, if one of your aspirations is to become a leader, then start working on your leadership capabilities today. And that will lend you a leadership role. In sports particularly, there are so many opportunities to demonstrate leadership. As a player, if you're an athlete, if you work in any of the other sectors, sports, goods, science, there is always opportunity to demonstrate leadership on the day-to-day basis. So what I would like to see more in sports, to be frank, is discussions and initiatives about early leadership potential identification. So rather than discussing about how to develop the existing leaders, that's great, we do it, we know about it. How can we identify early leadership potential in a university intern? Wouldn't that be nice to start nurturing at that age? Or wouldn't that be nice when we get graduates to actually put them through a leadership potential identification process? And there are certain signs of leadership potential. There is resilience, risk agility, learning agility, self-awareness, motivation, thinking agility. So there are a number of factors that you can measure. Forget about the technical side of the story. So yeah, I would like to hear in sports in particular more about early identification of leadership potential, irrespective of the role that you have within the industry. That's my view.
Makes a lot of sense. May, would you like to add anything?
Actually, after what Alexa said, yes, it's really important to identify the potential leaders within your organization. And actually, we're doing this. 35% of our employees are under the age of 30, and most of them are in the middle management. This is how we empower the young. You empower the young to be the future successors and the future leaders for your organization. This is really important and something that you always have to develop and have to it's really important that, and this is something that you have to focus on. And focusing on this leadership or developing the leadership skills for our senior leaders, middle management, or even the young talents that we have, we do this through different things, as we're saying about the initiative, like the 360 assessment, for example, for the senior leaders. We have assessments for our senior leaders where their managers, peers, and subordinates assess them on their leadership skills, not as the good leaders or bad leaders, but on the frequency of acts or leadership acts that they do. And then you go and debrief them as a development tool. It's not like you're a good leader or a bad leader, but this is a development tool that we can use with them to ask them to do this more frequent or to do it in a different way. And this is very lighting for them and for the young leaders too.
Oh. It starts from self-awareness, as you said. You need to be self-aware.
It always starts there. Blanca, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, something very fast. I think this part is very critical That's why we have so many MBAs, courses, and so on this matter. Just basically, it's very important because it relates to what I was mentioning before regarding the employer branding. If you have a good leader, either internally or externally, that will improve your brand and it will give more credibility and, for example, for employers to willing to keep being part of the company, and from external people to believe in your brand and to actually make it as someone to follow. So I think this part is very, very important to actually work on it and keep educating people on this.
Thank you, thank you. I want to start to conclude before we go to questions. I'm very proud of the panel here that we're keeping on time. And so to conclude, let's now look into the future, right? We started the panel talking about current trends in the industry, and now looking to the future, what are the trends that you foresee shaping the future of the sports industry? Obviously in this area of HR and recruitment.
From my perspective, as we said, technology is a fact. So I think we should accept it and take it as a tool to improve the industry and to keep improving ourselves and keep growing on this direction by accepting it and keep growing through it.
May? Thank you, Blanca.
Actually, forecasting nowadays is important, but with the AI and all of the technology trends and all of the jobs that are coming to life, it's important to be agile. It's important to be agile when it comes to planning. So you understand more about the talents, you understand more about the jobs. It's not like we're forecasting 3-5 years from now and we're not being flexible about our planning. So I think the most important thing now is agility planning, especially with the rise of all of the technology.
Yeah, 100%. Alex?
I believe we need the agility. Technology is here. It's not about it's going to come. No, it's happening. So we need the agility, as Mary said. The other trend, I don't know how this technology will impact the sports industry, but I think it's going to be, we're expecting more and more things to come, and also in HR world. If you want forecast, is that probably in 2 years' time, we won't be running one-to-one interviews. Everything would be done by a computer, notes transcribed, so this is it. Maybe not in this region, but in other parts of the world it would happen that fast. Mm-hmm. And I also think, and me and my partner in this business, we bet on that. We took a bet on it. We believe that organizational culture would be the driver of human resources. And the reason is very, very simple. Digital transformation, technological transformation is coming. Organizations will have to do it, no matter how small or how big they are. There is no option, right? You have to optimize cost, and you have to get up to speed with what's happening. The issue is we have never seen such spread or such a tremendous impact of technology on people's life. So the way we work would be fundamentally changed. The way we think as humans would be changed. Organizational culture will come and create a bridge, and human resources will create that bridge between technology, machines, AI, whatever you want to call it, humans. They would redefine what humans will have to do in relationship with these machines. And then the last part would be how to generate results. If we're talking about sports, we're talking about athletic performance, but also business results, right? Because at the end of the day, a club is a business.
Yeah, for sure. Before I know that there was one question there. I don't know if we have a microphone, but before I open to that, I'm going to ask you, was there anything that I should have asked you that I maybe forgot? Anything that you'd like to say on the topic in general?
We are HR people. We can talk until tomorrow, of course.
Okay. So, great. So I'm going to open for questions. There's one there.
And I think we had one there as well.
Is there a second one?
Yeah.
Oh, there.
I have a question about, can you hear me well? Okay.
Yes.
I have a question about the inclusion and
I can't hear.
the,
Can you?
I have a question about the inclusion and the diversity in football. What is the effect of applying diversity and inclusion in the sports in terms of money? Like we all hear about a lot of female players who are asking
Sorry,
for.
we cannot
I
hear you
cannot
very well.
hear
So
you.
what is the impact of diversity
maybe
and
come closer
inclusions?
here.
Can you hear me well?
No.
Okay. I have a question.
Come.
Come closer.
Close.
We're nice people.
I have a
hope.
question about inclusion and diversity in terms of money.
About
what is
inclusion
the
and
effect-
diversity, yeah?
Yeah. What is the effect of applying diversity and inclusion in the sports industry in terms of money? Like we all
In terms
hear,
of man, so
Money.
what
In
is the
terms of
impact
money,
of applying
yeah.
diversity and inclusion in sports industry when it comes to the financial implications?
Yeah, we all hear a lot of female players who asking for the same salary as the male players. Like, is it fair to give them the same amount of salary when when the female industry is not generating the same amount of money? Or I have to like have an equity, but in a specific things. I have diversity in a specific thing. Like, if we will apply the diversity and inclusion in business, not just in society, in our sports industry, will we apply it really well, or we have to respect business and we have to give the men players the same amount of money that they are getting, and the female players will still get the same amount of money that they will get.
You're talking about the players and athletes
Yes,
themselves,
we are
not
talking
about
about
the
the
employees,
athletes.
right?
Yeah, they are talking about equity in the salaries because it will
Equity in
yeah,
equity in salary
salaries,
for
because
the
it's part for
employees.
It's a very gray area what you're asking.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Do you want to go ahead, Mai, first?
Actually, I need to
I will
understand more
I
about
will
the
just
question.
put some context, because we're also here, and tomorrow, sort of at my presentation that I'll give sort of in the morning, we will divide very much what is, what jobs in sports or working in sports. You have the on the pitch category, athletes and coaches and things like that, and then you have what we call off the pitch, right? People working in behind the scenes to make, allowing those stars to shine. I want to believe that there is a big effort for diversity, equity, and inclusion, on that part, sort of behind the scenes, in most companies. Maybe, one countries are behind others, and obviously I think there's a lot to do, but I think everybody, understands the importance there. When you're talking about then athletes, I think it's still sort of a very different and much more, controversial conversation, because you're not really just talking about if you work this much, you should earn this much, because, every other, player that plays with Neymar or Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, work the same time and don't make the same money. And there are, and then there's a big sort of debate there, but which is not really, what we're discussing here.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
asking this question
behind the
because-
scenes in the
yeah.
companies, I
Yeah.
think 100%. Nobody would disagree that that's the movement that we should make, no?
Yeah, I'm asking this question because I want to be a sports director one day. So I really want to know your opinions as a people who have companies in the sports industry, and how you apply it, so I can apply it really well when I got the opportunity.
I think we need to go back a bit at the definition of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right? So yes, we want gender representation and equality, but it has to be in the right context, right? When we are talking about athletes, the payment of athletes is very individual, and it's a gray area, and it's debatable because it depends on their performance. It depends on the club they are, the country, the region, and so many other factors. So can I talk about a lack of diversity and inclusion because female and male athletes are not paid the same in the same club? I think it's still a gray area which has to be regulated, and it will be as time goes by. But what we are trying to say is that in the broader scheme of things, the diversity and inclusion doesn't mean that I'm just going to go and apply it and force it. So I'm going to select a woman in our board because I need to have the percentage. Because if I do that, then I'm going to discriminate. So diversity inclusion, it's about choosing the best person, paying someone fairly, irrespective of their gender, fairly, according to their performance, irrespective if it's a female or a male.
That's a great answer.
So,
Thank you.
But it's a gray area from my point of view yet.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's a very good
You're
one.
welcome. Did we answer your question? Sorry.
Yes. Yes.
There's a second question there, I think.
Hi, my name is Yara, and firstly, I just want to say that I'm very proud that when it comes to a panel
Can you speak closer to the microphone?
when it comes to a panel about recruitment in the sports industry, the whole panel is women. This is something that makes me very proud because I think we've come really far to just be treated equally, and I think his question was mostly what I wanted to say. So I just wanted to say that, and we can go on to the next question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I think we've been very
I
clear.
think we're
Yeah?
We've
All right,
done a good job.
so I think we can wrap up. I think there's another one coming. But I really want to thank Blanca, Alex, May. If you could join me in thanking them for being here, please.
And thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow. I will have a panel in the morning, so if you want to know more about how to start a career in sports, I'll be there, I think, at 10:30. So we'll start on time, right? And what can I say? Thanks again, Fadel. Thanks again, Iman, and to all of you, shukran.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joao. Thank you so much.